Hi, my name's Angela Casey and welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors, the podcast that explores Edinburgh's green spaces and the people in them. And today I'm up the top of Corstorphine Hill. We're up above the traffic. It's very peaceful, as you can hear, and we can see views of the Pentlands and the trees and Blackford Hill and Craig Lockhart Hill. And I'm going to go bird watching with a bird expert and a conservationist, so it's going to be very interesting. And I'd like to welcome Elle from the Treecreepers to Edinburgh Outdoors.
Thanks
very nice to have you here, and it's nice up here. It's very quiet.
It's a peaceful spot.
Yeah,
Really enjoy it here.
and it's near where you live, is that right?
Yes, it's only 10 minutes away, so very good spot to come, and usually pretty quiet as well. So it's a lovely spot.
It is. And we've already seen some birds, haven't we?
We have.
So,
We've already had a group of fledgling willow warblers, which was lovely to see. Quite a lot of magpies, some jackdaws, a young blue tit as well.
and some people running. Here's someone running, and quite a lot of dogs. And we'll just walk around and discover. Shall we go for a walk?
Yes.
And then we'll start looking at what we can find. So, first off, tell me about the Treecreepers and what it is and why you set it up.
Yes, so the Treecreepers is a birdwatching and just general nature group for people who are aged 18 to 35. So I set it up for a variety of reasons. Mainly because I wanted a group with a space for people to come together who were all really interested in nature and interested in birdwatching, who were sort of at a similar life stage. I found quite a lot of birdwatching groups are targeted more towards older generations.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really important to get people of my age group involved in birdwatching and give them a space that is more welcoming for them. Yeah, and also just it's a nice space to socialise with people who share similar values to you. So, yeah, those were the main reasons I wanted to set it up.
It's a really good thing to go out walking with people as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Socially.
Definitely. The social aspect is almost just as important as the birdwatching and observing nature aspect for us.
Does everyone talk too loudly so that the birds fly off?
There are moments where everyone's having a natter, but, you know, it's not a problem at all. If someone hears something or spots something, they'll just point it out and then everyone will hush down so we can have a little look. It's a good combo.
And the people coming along, are they people who've been bird watching before, so they know the birds, or are they people who want to learn?
A variety. So some of the people who come along are really, really into bird watching. Some of them are more knowledgeable than I am. And some people are completely new to it. Some people, you know, we've had people who are exchange students from other places in the world. So they maybe know birds from their home country, but not necessarily from here. So it's really nice mixture. And there's a good sort of transfer of knowledge between us. Everyone's sharing what they know and what they're interested in.
I think it sounds great. And I think you're right that the perception of bird watching is either little kids or it's older people in green gilets.
Yes. Yeah, and I think another thing that was important to me is the accessibility of it. So a lot of the people who are into birdwatching who are older have had plenty of time to get really into it, to have all the knowledge they possibly could, have all the expensive equipment. But people of my age, they don't have as much opportunity for that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us don't have that much money. A lot of people are very new to birdwatching. So having a space where anybody of any ability can come along is really important.
Yeah. I think the other thing sometimes is the image of the birdwatcher, is they've got the telescope hanging over their shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, they've got the green gilet on. Do you need all that fancy kit?
No, definitely not. I mean, these binoculars I've got with me today, they're the only pair that I ever use. And I think my dad got them for me when I was 9-10 years old. I've had them ever since. I have one new bird book that cost me maybe £10. The other bird books I got are all second-hand for, you know, £3-4. And that's it. That's all that I have for birdwatching.
Yeah.
And of course, expensive equipment is great. A lot of it is really worthwhile if you have the money to invest in it. You know, a great telescope gets you an amazing view of the birds, but it's not essential.
No. And
None
actually,
of it is essential.
some of it really is just about seeing the birds and saying, "Oh, I've seen that." You don't have to get really close to them,
not at all. A big thing about birdwatching for me is, of course, I love seeing birds that I've never seen before. I love seeing like rare birds or unusual birds. But something that's really important to me is just seeing the common ones, because birdwatching is as much sort of relaxing and connecting with nature as it is ticking off a list.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's not like train spotting, is it?
No.
It's just going out and enjoying the fact that they're out.
Exactly.
Ooh. Oh, that's the golf bell.
Yeah. There's some really nice big old trees here as well.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I think I said earlier, I've never loved Corstorphine Hill.
Yeah.
Which is why it's really interesting to come out with you, because you come here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can show me what you love about it, because this bit's lovely, actually.
It is. There's some really good parts. There is the main path that goes almost top to bottom.
Yeah.
Or like north to south. And that can be quite busy.
Yeah.
But there's some great little side shoots that you can go off.
And you get to see some really wild animals at certain points, don't
Yes.
you? Because they're in the zoo.
Yes. When we came up with the group back in May, I think it was, we saw a zebra. So that was exciting. A new spot for the group. But in terms of actual wild animals as well, like native ones, there are badger sets up here. It's unlikely you'd see them during the day, but that's pretty special. There's ravens, which are unusual to see in the city. So that's really nice. There's also just up here a bird feeding station, which often I see a nuthatch on, but it depends on whether it's feeling like it wants to come and say hello. Just through there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something on it now. This spot's a little bit odd because we're kind of bordered by the golf course and the zoo.
So who's coming up here and filling that up? Is it part of the golf course?
I don't think so. I don't know whether it's... Because Corstorphine Hill is a local nature reserve.
Yeah.
So I'm unsure whether they have like rangers here or something that maybe fill it up, or if it's just members of the public.
What a pigeon.
So this is the zebra enclosure.
Oh, and here we can see through to the water.
Chiffchaff.
Doesn't sound like a chiffchaff.
No, it's not making the common chiffchaff.
Maybe it's a baby?
Either a baby calling out to its parent, or it might just be some kind of alarm call.
I can hear some other birds.
That whoop whoop, I think, is a chaffinch.
Why is Corstorphine Hill a good place to come bird watching, do you think?
So, for me, it's great because it is still in the centre of the city, so it's very accessible. But the main reasons I come here is because of how quiet it is. So, even on a weekend, it's not that busy with people. And also there is a nice variety of habitats here. You know, we walked up through the more scrubby land to get on the top, and then up here we've got sort of a mixture of shrubs and trees, and then there's also some dense woodland as well. So you get a good variety of birds up here.
Yeah. You can sort of hear the city in the background a bit, can't you? You can hear planes and things, but actually you can switch off from it.
It's fairly peaceful if you kind of let the white noise of the city disappear into the background.
So the Treecreepers, you can find it on Instagram, and it looks like you've been to all different bits of green spots in Edinburgh. Where have you been?
Yeah, so we started off, the first one was at Blackford Hill in the Hermitage of Braid, mainly because it was one of my favourite spots to be. It's just a beautiful green space in Edinburgh, and it's fairly easy for people to access from different parts of the city, and also you get most of the common UK birds, so for those who are new to birdwatching, it was a good place to start. Then we came to Corstorphine, and then we went to Musselburgh Lagoons to get sort of a different type of bird. So we got to see all the waders and seabirds there, which was lovely. And then we went to Cramond and the River Almond, which was the beginning of this month. We got to see kingfisher, which was amazing.
That is amazing. You take someone on a birdwatching visit to be able to get them a kingfisher is fantastic.
It was so good. It was very good.
So you don't need fancy kit, but if you're standing here and you see a bird, how would a layperson identify it? What would they do?
Yes, bird ID is a pretty complicated system. The first things to do are get a general impression of the bird. So you want to see how big it is, where it is in relation to your environment. So is it in a tree? Is it on the ground? Is it on a pond? Looking at its feet, looking at its beak, the shape of them. So, if you see a bird with webbed feet, it's likely that it's some kind of water-based bird. If you see a bird with a really big hooked beak, it's probably a bird of prey. Those are the best places to start. In birding, it's called GIS or JIS, which stands for General Impression of Size and Shape. And then once you've got that down, you might be able to sort of narrow down the type of bird you're looking at. And then you want to look at the colours. So where are the colours and patterns on the bird? Does it have a white patch on its head, or does it have a yellow back or pink legs and all this kind of stuff? And all those little bits come together to give you the type of bird it is. Other things that are of importance are the habitat you're in. So are you in deep woodland? Are you in scrubland? Are you at the coast? And also the time of year. So we have quite a lot of migratory species in the UK. So we get species that are only here in the summertime, and we get species that are only here over winter. So the time of year also plays a role.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it cheating to use the Merlin bird app?
No, definitely not. I use it all the time. You've already seen me use it today. Bird calls and bird songs are difficult. It's only in the recent years, maybe 2-3 years, that I've started to actually be able to ID birds from their call. And even now, I will hear a bird call and I go, oh, I recognise it, but I can't pinpoint what it is.
So it's not cheating to use Merlin, but you said sometimes it gets it wrong. So.
Sometimes it gets it wrong, yeah. So factors like wind and background noise and stuff can change what it thinks it is. And also if the bird's really far away, that will affect it as well. The best thing to do is, if you see the bird, you can kind of match it up to the bird that Merlin's suggesting and see if they look the same. That's a great way to do it. Or if you can't see the bird, maybe research the bird that Merlin is telling you to see, does it match up with the habitat, the type of place I heard it, all these types of things. So it's not always right. It's getting a lot better.
Yeah.
But it isn't always right.
I quite like it because you hear them and then you look at the picture.
Definitely.
But a book is useful too.
Book is very useful. They can be quite difficult to use because most of them, it's just a full book listing all the species that we get, which is why getting that general impression of the bird is really useful, because it helps you narrow it down.
We haven't got any birds around us now, probably because we're talking.
Probably. We've had a few dogs go past.
Yeah, we've had some dogs. They don't like dogs, do they? We'll go on a bit and we'll see if we can find a spot.
Usually once you get into the woods a bit more, it can be pretty good.
So you set up the Treecreepers, and it's been very popular.
Yeah, it has been very popular.
And have you got any plans for it?
At the moment, I'm just hoping to grow the group a bit more. So it's obviously been selling out quite quickly recently, which is amazing. So I might expand to have a couple sessions a month if it continues to be this popular. So that would be really good. And also, because I've had quite a few people who are quite new to birdwatching come to the group, I thought it would be really nice to offer workshops for beginner birdwatchers, to give them all this information like the how do you ID a bird, how do you use a bird book, how do you use binoculars, all the sort of essential starting points. So that's in the plan as well. I'm creating that at the moment, and hopefully I'll be able to get some workshops up and running.
That sounds like a really good idea. Because I think sometimes working your Merlin app or working your binoculars or looking at a book all at the same time when you're out and you've seen a bird, in a way it's better to practice it before you're seeing it. And for some people it might make them feel like they can't do it.
Oh, blue tit.
Oh, yes.
There's quite a lot of them.
I like blue tits.
Me too.
Well, there's a few birds now up here. Look, there's some up there.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps they're all blue tits.
I think most of them probably are.
Maybe
they often travel in big packs.
Do they?
Yeah, so the tit family in general often travel together, even if they're different species. So you'll often find blue tits, great tits and long-tailed tits all together, and sometimes coal tits as well. I think it's sort of a safety in numbers thing.
But they're very little, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. They're small little birds.
Yeah.
And they're all generalists as well, especially blue tits and great tits. So they will eat almost anything. They can live almost anywhere. So they work really well together.
What do they nest in? Do they make nests?
Yeah, they do.
Make little round ones?
Make little round nests, yeah. Long-tailed tits nests are really special, actually. They are completely covered. So it's basically an egg with a tiny little hole in it. And that's what they nest in. They're really beautiful. Oh, there's one there. That's a long-tailed tit. Quite pink with a really long tail. But they're actually not a tit. So scientifically, they're not in the same, I think it's genus as the blue tits and great tits. But they're similar enough to us birdwatchers that we group them together. And you often find them in the same places as well.
This is a busy little area. Look at it.
Yeah.
It's really busy.
Well, there's a little coal tit as well.
I can hear them all.
Mm-hmm. That little one there.
Yeah.
That's a coal tit. There's a tiny little bird here. Mm-hmm. That's the smallest bird that we have in the UK. So that's a goldcrest. So they are minuscule. They're sort of the size of a cotton wool ball. And they love conifers.
Which is why they're all here.
Which is why they're all here.
There's lots of conifers, and I think they eat the seeds.
Yeah, and I imagine they pick all the little bugs and stuff off as well. I think that was a buzzard.
That sounded like a buzzard, didn't it?
There are buzzards here. I had a really lovely experience, and a buzzard just flew down and landed in the tree right above me. And it was the closest I'd ever been to one, and you could see every detail of it. It was beautiful.
This is a nice spot.
It is, yeah.
A little twittering.
The goldfinch. So that twittering, that's goldfinches. You almost always hear that when they're flying overhead. So that is the chaffinch alarm call. That joop joop.
Quite a lot of bees around on these flowers as well.
There's a lot, yeah, it's lovely. A couple of butterflies I've seen as well.
So on your tree creepers, do you sometimes do this and just sit and stop?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the time we will just pause in a spot, have a little snack, and just listen to what's around us.
A snack is one of the great things about being outdoors.
Yes. There's something so nice about just having a little snack in nature.
I think so.
So I bought a lot of second-hand bird books that was pretty cheap. Mm-hmm. That was good. But binoculars would be great. Being able to provide them for the group would be really good. So I'm hoping that with the workshops, because I can charge a little bit more money for them, it'll not only cover my expenses, but also hopefully provide a bit more income.
I bet you there must be people who have got binoculars that they don't use, like they've got 2 pairs or something like that.
Please, if you have old binoculars, reach out to me.
Donate them.
I will happily take them. They don't have to be the best. They don't have to even work very well. But it'll do.
Yeah.
You know?
That would be great if some people did that, wouldn't it? And they can get in touch with you on Instagram.
Yep. I also have my email address, which is just thetreecreepers@outlook.com. We also have a newsletter on Substack.
On the blurb of the podcast, we put links to various bits and pieces. So I'll put links to your Instagram and your Substack, and people can then find you. And maybe somebody will offer you some binoculars for the beginners group. That would be really good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Even the main group, because some people come along and they don't have binoculars. So being able to give them some to use for the group would be great. I think that's a nuthatch. One of the leaders that I work with at the RSPB group says that the way he remembers a nuthatch call is it sounds a bit like a laser. It's like pew, pew, pew.
We can't hear it now to test that theory.
Do it again.
They don't do it on request. And your degree, you finished your degree in...
Yeah, a couple years ago.
What was that in?
It was ecology and environmental science. Right. So
you took it further.
Yeah. So passionate about it. I wanted to do more, and that degree was amazing. It was really, really good. You don't learn that much ID skills, but you do learn how everything interacts in the ecosystems, and that's really important to know as well.
So after your degree, have you been able to use it in any way?
I was lucky enough to get a year's contract in forestry, so I was working on a research project, but because it was a fixed-term contract, that ended, and I basically found that conservation is really hard to get into. There are a lot of people nowadays who are going into conservation and ecology and all those types of things because a lot more people are passionate about it. It's become a very important topic.
Yeah.
But there aren't that many jobs out there. And because of that, there's huge competition between candidates. And a lot of the time, those who are new don't get as many opportunities, or you have to go into something that you don't really want to in order to get experience to then end up where you want to be.
Doesn't seem fair, does it? People doing those jobs, and I guess it's something that loses funding.
Definitely. So there definitely isn't as much funding as there should be, and because of the nature of the funding, it's often based on yearly budgets from the government and funding organisations, which means that a lot of the jobs are very insecure. You'll only get a contract for maybe the summer, or 1 year, maybe 2 years if you're lucky.
We talked to Johnny Wells on the Water of Leith about this, because he's the senior ranger, and he was saying that as he gets older, he says, who's going to take the job on from him, because nobody's been trained up, because you only have the one doing it and then everybody else are volunteers.
Yes. Yeah, the volunteer aspect is another big thing. It's difficult. I don't want to make assumptions, but it's almost like they're using the goodness of our hearts to keep us volunteering rather than paying us. But that means it's not accessible to everybody. You know, not everyone has the time or enough money to be able to afford to volunteer. And it also means a lot of us have to do other jobs to pay the bills whilst also trying to balance volunteering to gain the experience to then be able to get into conservation roles.
Which is sort of what you're having to do.
It is, yes.
At the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, so currently I work in retail at a very well-known hardware store. And I enjoy it. It pays well for what I do and it pays the bills. And it gives me the time and energy outside of that to pursue things like the Treecreepers. I definitely wouldn't have been able to set this group up if I were working in a full-time conservation role.
No, though you might be able to do it as part of the place where you're working.
Yes.
If you were a paid conservation ranger in a nature reserve, you could take the skills that you've got from having set up Treecreepers to doing something on site.
I'm lucky enough also to have the time and the money to be able to volunteer with the RSPB. So I'm an assistant leader at a youth group based in Edinburgh called Phoenix. We meet once a month with young people aged 13 to 18.
Yeah.
And we take them birdwatching and we take them to do conservation things with local communities and organisations. And that's been a really nice experience and has given me a lot of opportunities that have come from that. So yeah, I'm doing the classic thing of doing all the bits that I'm really passionate about on the side because I can't get a job that pays me to do them. And that is the hope in the future, is to get to that point.
I guess as you're building those experiences, although you're doing them voluntarily, they're still going into your bucket of experience.
Yes.
When you were doing your degree, what did you specialise in?
So my dissertation was focused on whether the socio-economic status of an area affected people's access to green space and biodiversity. And I did that in Edinburgh. And I found that the socio-economic status didn't affect people's distance to green space, but it did affect the actual quality of the green space that was nearest to them. I was looking at the biodiversity of the space and I used birds as my proxy.
Yeah.
Because birds are very good sort of indicator species. They will only live where they have the habitat, and a lot of green spaces in Edinburgh are just a flat grass expanse.
Yes.
And you don't get that many birds there.
No.
Or if you do, they're the ones that are less charismatic or more considered pests, like pigeons and seagulls and crows and that type of thing. So the actual quality of the green space is significantly worse in areas with lower socioeconomic status.
And maybe it comes back to that thing you're saying about volunteering, because somewhere like this, where we are on Corstorphine Hill, we're near pretty decent area of housing, people who've got the money to spend coming and volunteering.
Definitely. And also investing in the green space. There is a big increase in local community groups that are getting good funding, that are making places a lot better for the local communities, which is great.
So you did some work with Grace Mount Walled Garden, who I went to see.
Yes.
Who are fantastic.
I did. They are great there. Yes.
What did you do with them?
I was helping run the queer gardening group with Transition Edinburgh South at Grace Mount. And the group is still very much thriving. We've done all sorts of things. Growing food, just general gardening knowledge and learning. But we've also done things like foraging and dye workshops and all these types of fun things.
At the end, I always ask people some questions. So, obviously, you've been passionate about nature since you were a child.
Yeah.
But what does being in the outdoors mean and do for you?
Oh, often it's sort of a form of relaxation and grounding. You know, the world is in a bit of chaos at the moment, and often that reflects in our personal lives. And I find being out in nature just really relaxing. It doesn't matter what is going on in my life. If I'm out in nature and I'm paying attention to what's around me, I just find myself at peace. And I think birdwatching especially, you know, birds are some of the only animals that we get to see frequently. And there's something about looking at a bird and knowing that it's looking back at you and seeing that kind of, I don't know, that knowledge, that understanding in their eye. Sounds a bit deep, but that's how I feel.
It's only pigeons and things like magpies who aren't frightened of you, though. The rest are all keeping clear, aren't they? They're looking at you.
Yes, they're definitely paying attention to you, but a lot of them are still pretty bold.
Yeah.
I think they understand that if they're up in the tree, they're safe away from you.
And then, of course, there are the seagulls, but I don't think we want to talk about...
I love seagulls. I really do. I think hate against seagulls is uncalled for.
So, have you ever eaten on the prom at Portobello?
Yes. I grew up by the coast, so I've had my ice cream and my fish and chips stolen many times before. They are big birds, especially when they're flying very close to your head. But I love them. I think they're cheeky. I think they've got a lot of personality. And I think the reason that they are in our cities so much is because we've basically ruined their natural habitat. You know, the fish stocks in the sea are rapidly declining, and coastal habitats also being eroded and being developed. So I don't blame them. A lot of the seagulls that we see all the time in the city are actually on the red list in the UK.
And has there ever been a time in your life when the outdoors has really helped you?
I think I sort of reconnected with the outdoors during COVID, as a lot of us did.
Yeah.
I found during my late teens and early 20s, when I was doing my exams at school and then starting university, I kind of had been a bit disconnected from nature. And then COVID hit, and suddenly I was scrambling for peace and serenity.
Yeah.
And I found it in nature, for sure.
Yeah.
And I do struggle with my mental health, and I find nature to be really, really healing. So that's probably the biggest thing for me, is it is just that sense of peace and that sense of belonging and coming back to oneself.
Yeah. The outdoors was an escape for a lot of people in COVID, I think.
For sure. Especially as it was some of the only places that we could go.
Yeah. And I think since then there has been a revival in people doing outdoor activities.
And on the note of the sounds of nature being relaxing, it's been scientifically proven that bird song resets our nervous system, because birds only sing when they're safe.
Yeah.
So from an evolutionary point of view, if we hear birds singing, we know that there's no threats about, we know there's no predators. So it allows us to actually physically in our bodies calm down.
The whole effect of mental health on people, how it puts you into fight and flight mode sometimes and makes you frightened of things.
Yeah.
And I think... Yeah.
And even just the stress of life sometimes, you know. Yeah. Can be a lot. But even just hearing birdsong will help you calm down.
And it is a beautiful sound. There is something lovely about birdsong.
You don't even need to know what birds they are. Yes, you can get into bird watching and want to ID all the birds and know what they all are and know all their calls and stuff. But even just watching the birds, as simple as that, or listening to their song, is still really nice to do.
Yeah, it is. And where's your everybody always says the place I'm interviewing them. But where's your favourite space in Edinburgh?
I think I would probably have to say the Hermitage and Blackford Hill, because it is very easy to access. There is a lot of different habitats there, and although it is very busy, especially on the weekends, that almost makes it better, because you get to share in the knowledge that all these other people are enjoying the space as well.
That's a very generous thought. As opposed to, why won't these people go away and leave me alone?
I do really appreciate peaceful, quiet places too. But there's something nice about being out in nature with other people.
So I've really, really enjoyed coming out here today.
I'm glad.
It's been great.
It's been so good.
And I love seeing the birds. What was the one we saw? Long-tailed tit.
Long-tailed tits. And the goldcrest.
And the goldcrest.
That was special.
That was really special. And we've seen nice views. I think I like Corstorphine Hill more than I did before.
Good.
So, yeah.
I'm glad.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such...
I've been transformed. I've decided that I like Corstorphine Hill, having previously thought I didn't, and I will definitely come back.
That's good to hear.
And do some more walking and sit and listen to the wildlife. Making yourself stop and listen.
Yeah.
It's a really positive thing.
It is. Yeah, walking in nature is beautiful.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the sitting still and just kind of letting yourself be absorbed into it all.
And thank you for listening to Edinburgh Outdoors. If you enjoyed the podcast, please rate us on your podcast app and leave a review. And don't forget to tell your friends, family or colleagues about it too. And of course, if you know of an outdoors space or person in or around Edinburgh that might like to be featured, you can get in touch via email, Blue Sky, Instagram or Facebook.